Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome back to yet another episode on your favorite Little Slaw YouTube channel. So today in this video, we're going to see about one of the interesting topic that is CAPTCHA. Why CAPTCHA? Because the reason I wanted to discuss about this topic is as a performance testers, we normally face some challenges in disabling or in handling the CAPTCHA. So in this video, we're going to see why CAPTCHA, what is a CAPTCHA, and why really we need that. And in our next video, we'll see about what are the ways we can mitigate the issues of CAPTCHA, like when you have CAPTCHA in your application, how can we handle it? So in this video, before we know how to handle it, let's see let's try to understand what CAPTCHA is basically. So CAPTCHA, we call it as it's a completely automated public Turing test to tell the computers and humans apart. So basically, it's a we can call it as a technology or we can call it as a method. So basically it is to tell the computers like whether it is a bot or whether it is a human, right? And it is introduced to prevent the automated systems, mainly the bots, from misusing the online services. So when I say online services, it can be accessing an web application, any web application. It can be, but it can be on online, right? So the first thing is to prevent the automated abuse. So when I say preventing automated abuse, it's about the bots, which usually cause harm by spamming comment section. So when you are using an application and when you have a comment section, usually when by using a bot, we can actually keep on continuously giving inputs to it, and we can even register. I mean, like we can do fake registrations, right? For example, if you have a Google account, you can create 1,000 or any number of Google accounts, and you can use it. You can actually fake it, and you can do any antisocial activity. So to avoid all this, or to stop all this, or to prevent this to happen, we are using CAPTCHA. And in fact, for copying data from websites, mainly we call it as scrapping, right? So for all these, so to prevent all these actions or to prevent all these activities, we use CAPTCHA, and they can also try thousands of passwords. So for example, if you're using an application, if you're logging into an application, right, and when you are um, having a complex password, so to try, like say for example, to try the brute force attack to hack your account. So CAPTCHA actually what it does is actually it blocks those automated actions, because even though if you are able to crack the password, but still at the end of uh, um, that cracking, you must need a CAPTCHA to be entered, right? So those CAPTCHAs actually block such automated actions. So mainly the automated abuse. And secondly, it helps you to protect the user account. So hackers use bots to guess the login credentials to gain unauthorized access. So these captchas actually help, or these captchas actually protect the user's accounts from gaining unauthorized access. And then the captcha actually they ensure that the login attempts are made by real humans, which actually reduces the risk of account breaches. So by doing these, by bringing in captcha, so we can actually save, or we can actually protect our account from from hackers, um, and also we can protect our protect our account, mainly the user accounts, um, from login attempts made by um, real humans, by reducing the risk of account breaches. And then thirdly, the ensuring of fair usage, because what happens is like the bots, the computers, the automated bots that we have, that really exist, so they actually can unfairly dominate the online resources, like buying all tickets for an event within seconds. Say for example, recently we have got um, a scenario where people were trying to book their tickets for Coldplay or even for IPL, just imagine. And if you're using these bots, right? So what happens is within seconds, you can just run these bots and you can buy all those tickets at a lower rate, and then you can sell it at a higher rate. Yes, I'm not giving you a business idea, but the bots actually are capable of doing this. So this captcha part will actually make sure that it is fairly used. I mean, It's fairly distributed. And these CAPTCHAs actually ensures that the real users gets a fair chance to access the online services. And then the fourth part, the enhancing of security. So when I say enhancing, it is like adding CAPTCHA before accessing any sensitive data or before making any transactions. So that actually provides an extra layer of protection, right? So whenever you do any transaction and after you're doing it, if you have a CAPTCHA transaction or CAPTCHA before you enter, before you make any uh, before you make any transactions, before you commit any transactions, if you add a CAPTCHA, it will actually add an extra layer of protection, and this actually reduces the risk of cyber attacks because you are verifying the human presence. So in short, I will say CAPTCHA actually helps the websites to remain secure. Yes, it provides a layer of security. Fair usage. Yes, because they usually make a fair chance to access online. I mean, like allowing all the users to get a fair chance to access online services, and a bot free by ensuring that only real users can interact with the critical services. And now let's move to the next part. And now we'll see how the CAPTCHA works, or what are the types of CAPTCHA we have. So CAPTCHA is actually designed to tell humans as, and the bots, apart by presenting challenges that are easy for people but hard for the automated programs. So here is how those different types of CAPTCHAs work. So the first thing is the text-based CAPTCHA. So this actually displays, I mean, this text-based CAPTCHA displays distorted or scrambled letters or numbers that the users must type correctly. And the bots actually struggle to recognize and interpret the text due to the distortion because the bots could not recognize them. Right, that's the first thing. So it's text-based CAPTCHA, and the second thing is the image-based CAPTCHA. So the users will be asked, or yeah, basically the users will be asked to identify the objects in the images. Like for example, select all images with traffic lights, or select all images with cars, or the bridge, something like that. If we all must have come across that. So what happens is the humans actually can recognize the objects easily, but the bots have trouble understanding the visual patterns. And if you see, the images were not that clear, right? So by doing this, you are actually creating giving a challenge to the bot, which bot cannot handle. And then the third part, which is the math or logic puzzles. So this actually requires the user to solve simple math problems. Say, for example, like 5 plus 3 or answering logic questions. So what happens is the bots actually might struggle if the problem is complex enough. And then finally, the fourth one, which is the reCAPTCHA. So this reCAPTCHA is actually introduced by Google because, I mean, these actually, this is being used, this actually uses the AI to analyze the user behavior, like for example, the mouse movements and browsing patterns to determine if they are human, because humans actually have a kind of mouse movement that has been analyzed by the AI, and the browsing patterns. So how human browsers is totally different from how a bot browsers or how he moves the mouse. So by doing all this, they determine that if they are human or not. And often the users just need to check a box, which is like, I'm not a robot. But if their behavior seems suspicious, they may have to solve a challenge like selecting the images. So that's the second level of. Sometimes yeah, we also must have experienced that when you are selecting that I'm not a robot. After that, you get a challenge like selecting the images. It's because the system, the AI machine has decided that you are a robot. So that's why it has added another layer of challenge. So all these type of captchas, I mean, each type of captchas, they actually adds a layer of security, which makes it difficult for the bots to bypass, but keeping it easy for the real users. And now we'll move to the next section. And now in this slide, we'll see about the evolution of CAPTCHA. So how it has been evolved. So as the technology advanced, CAPTCHA had to evolve to stay ahead of the bots. Yes, the bots were actually able to crack some of the CAPTCHAs. So what actually happened is we have actually moved from early CAPTCHA. That's the very first one. That's the very basic text CAPTCHA, which we have used a few years back, where we used distorted text or numbers that the users had to type correctly. So initially effective, but as AI and image recognition have improved, bots became better at solving them. So that's the very first evolution of CAPTCHA. It's the very first version, I would say. So, like I told you, the bots were, like it was designed very well so that they were able to recognize the images, and the bots, they can recognize the images, and they were better at solving them, better than humans. And the second part is the ReCAPTCHA V2 version 2, where we were using the checkboxes and the image-based challenge. So this is actually introduced by Google, and this version added the I am not a robot checkbox. So if the system detected any suspected behavior or suspicious behavior, so then the users had to solve an image puzzle, like for example, selecting traffic lights or selecting cars, selecting bridges. We all must have done that, right? So that way, we are adding the version 2 level of CAPTCHA, and this actually made it easier for the humans while it's still blocking the bots. And then the third one, which is the ReCAPTCHA version 3, which is invisible CAPTCHA. So what happened is, this invisible CAPTCHA actually eliminated the need for user interaction. So you don't need to enter anything. You don't need to interact, basically. So what happens is, like, the user it actually uses advanced AI to analyze the user behavior, like the mouse movements, the browsing activity in the background. So by doing this, the system can analyze, the AI system can analyze the user's behavior, whether it's a bot or whether it's a human being, and by assigning a risk score to determine if the visitor is a human or a bot. And this actually allowed the websites to take the actions accordingly. So this evolution actually helped CAPTCHA to stay effective against increasingly sophisticated bots while improving the user experience by reducing unnecessary challenges. And now we'll move on to the next topic. So now we'll see about the challenges and the criticisms of CAPTCHA. So while the CAPTCHA is actually useful for preventing bots, yes, so we have even discussed about what are all the options. I mean, how does this CAPTCHA actually provide the fairness among the users, right? But it also has some drawbacks as well. So what happens is, the first thing, which is the user experience. Some CAPTCHAs are actually too difficult, which actually require multiple attempts, which actually frustrate the users. Yes, that's very true. And again, it's time consuming, which in turn slows down the tasks like logging in or filling out forms. So when somebody wants to immediately log in to book a ticket, or when somebody wants to fill out a form immediately. So what happens is, it's very time consuming. So because of that, uh, the user cannot complete his task on time. So that's one challenge and the criticism about using CAPTCHA. And then the second part, which is the accessibility issue. Yes, so visually impaired users may struggle with text, image, or image-based captures. I mean, in fact, yeah, there are audio-based captures as well. Yes, sometimes, yeah, the audio captures, they do exist, but it can be hard to understand due to background noise or distortion. So that's very true. So that's, again, it's an accessibility issue. Yeah, even though we are trying to protect the user, even though we are trying to give a fair choice to the users, but still, these kind of challenges, like, even though the visually impaired have the audio captures, but still, due to the noise or distortion, yes, the users are suffering like getting a lot of trouble to fix it. And then the next part, which is the smarter. Yes, like human beings, bots are also getting smarter. So with advancements in AI, yes, with advancement in chips, the amount of powerful chips, yes, the AIs are getting very smarter, and through machine learning, bots can now solve many captchas automatically. Yes, that's very true. And attackers use techniques like optical character recognition and AI models to bypass traditional captchas. So, and because of these issues, newer captcha systems like reCAPTCHA V3, they aim to improve the user experience while staying ahead of bot technology. Yeah, but still, as a performance engineers, we are still struggling to fix these issues. I know many of you have successfully handled this, but still, it's not the way we are. I mean, like, why the CAPTCHA is actually in first place, right? Yeah, now we'll move on to the next part. Yep, so I have come to the conclusion, but still, this is actually the beginning of the next video. That is the CAPTCHA and the performance testing. So where we have discussed about the various ways of mitigating the CAPTCHA issue. or how to handle the CAPTCHA for performance testing. So before I end, I just want to give a conclusion. So CAPTCHA actually, as I told you, it plays a crucial role in enhancing the security by preventing the bots from misusing the online services. But even though bots, I mean, like the CAPTCHA does that, but still the bots become more advanced. The CAPTCHA techniques continue to evolve to stay effective. Yes, there are like new technologies coming in to improve the CAPTCHA technology, the CAPTCHA way. But from a performance testing perspective, implementing CAPTCHA can impact the system response times, the user experience, and the overall application efficiency. So in the next video, we'll explore the relationship between CAPTCHA and performance testing, and we'll discuss how it affects the load times, the automation challenges, and the best practices for handling it in performance test scenarios. So stay tuned, and we'll meet in our next video. So until I meet you all in our next video. It's bye bye from Vasan Chanmugam and your favorite little star YouTube channel. Take care and bye bye.